If you went to Axpona this year, you probably weren't super impressed by anything you heard. On top of the noise floor, the crowds, not able to get the sweet spot, it was very difficult, probably almost impossible for you, even if you have a budget system at your home, to hear anything in these rooms that is better than a properly set up system. The big rooms, yeah, they had some awesome gear that had, you could sniff the potential, but those big rooms, tons of bass issues no matter where you sat. And on top of that, the seating positions are so far away from the gear. I bet you run measurements, you are hearing more reflections than you are the actual signal from the speakers. So it's very hard in the big rooms. Also in the small rooms, some of those rooms are laced with studs that are metal studs, totally cramped, high ceilings, reverberant. There was just a minefield of problems that you can never hear the total ceiling potential of the gear in those rooms. However, there are certain rooms that did bring the tools and the ability to navigate the issues better than others. And one of those is the room I'm going to talk about today. Stay tuned. Okay, guys, welcome back to the channel. Got my new RD acoustic backdrop in. How do you like it? Actually, I have more of these felt things to fill in between each of the slats, and I can test that, but that'll be a subject for another video and another day. I still got plenty to give you from Axpona. And what I've been saving for you from Axpona is stuff that is some of the highest quality sound I heard, and also the highest potential of where this industry is going for the future. And none better than the Danville Signal Processing Room, which coincidentally, the past 2 years at Axpona, they've been on the forefront from my perspective, because they've been touting and been actually on the front lines of doing what I've been talking about for many years on this channel. Active crossovers and DSP give you a higher ceiling of performance if you value high fidelity metrics than anything that can be done on the passive realm. It doesn't mean that every active speaker is better than every passive speaker, but the ceiling of performance with DSP and active crossovers is so much higher potential ceiling than anything you can do on passive. I mean, yeah, you can get the best passive parts. You can do the best job to get it as smooth a frequency response, timing and all that, but DSP can get timing much better. DSP can get frequency response to the minute that passive parts, the guys just give up and say, I can't do it, or I can't handle that frequency or this frequency. I can't do these things. There's only so much you can do. And if parts matter, yeah, parts may matter, but guess what? If parts matter because what's in the signal path gets passed through it, well, guess what? If you take that part out, that's even better. Nothing is getting the signal is getting impacted. If you're doing it in the digital domain, so much better. So that's why I've been touting this, and that's why the industry is going this route, because now it's our 4K moment that Audiophiles had many years ago. When Danville Signal Processing did their demo the past 2 years at Axpona, it was clear as day. They took a Maggie with the passive stock, and they did active crossover with the Danville Signal Processing, and everybody, even the most adamant non-DSP person that I've taken in there, was blown away. And this wasn't one of those fake demos where, you know, they use NLP and peer pressure to kind of condition you to hear a minute difference from XYZ doohickey or voodoo crap. You know, this was like, you heard the difference, and your grandmother could go in there and hear the difference. Your neighbor could hear the difference. It was that obvious. And it was 100%. It's not like some of these subjective ones where people say, yeah, I heard a difference, but then half the audience doesn't even agree what difference they heard. This was 100% of the time people were hearing the benefits of an active crossover over the passive counterpart. But this year, Danville went next step further. They partnered, and they actually created not a open baffle Maggie comparison. They created a new speaker, the Ex Machina, with purified drivers, and it's just a tremendous, I'm not going to spoil it. You're going to hear all about it in the video, but this is the type of speaker that is the future. And in terms of potential and what I heard, it had all the capabilities to measure the room and do as much as possible to mitigate all the negatives that every other room had to deal with. Other than the room, I'm going to also feature the Bach with the Prodigio. Using these tools, you were able to get, if you value high fidelity metrics, if you don't, then yeah, it doesn't matter. But if you do, these were rooms that were able to achieve much higher levels empirically and subjectively that almost anybody, including your grandmother, could hear the difference. So I wanted to feature this room. It's a long video, but it's well worth your time because you're going to start seeing much more of these types of speakers. And spoiler alert, I'm probably not supposed to be saying this right now, but I am working kind of as a consultant collaboration in a speaker that's very similar in design to this speaker in terms of active crossover, using DSP, Danville Signal Processing, to create something that, again, this is going to be the future. It's not going to be another box speaker with passive parts and MDF cabinets and, you know, off-the-shelf drivers with different SKUs that people say is modified for us. You know, no, this is the future of speaker building, and these are the people that are going to give us that higher level of performance. So these guys deserve credit for coming out with a product on the forefront, and I wanted to feature them for you today. But stay tuned. I got some other things that to disclose for you soon on this same ilk, but enjoy this one, and I'll see you back here soon. Oh, what's up? How are you doing? Good to see you. How are you? Good to see you.
Here, we'd have to do this.
Oh, you want to?
You have to entertain. You have to entertain him.
To talk to you,
Oh, okay.
to entertain you.
While he gets ready. What's up?
Jason, I thought we were going to do 11 tomorrow. We
Well,
can do it now. It's fine.
Is that good?
I did a high pressure sales thing.
He sent me an email saying, when you coming?
Oh, well, you know, it's because
Is it too early for me to come?
No. But we're going
Okay.
to let these guys teach their demo.
Okay.
Actually, music.
But you don't have to close down anything for me. You
Yes,
know,
we-
you don't have to.
Please, that's what we like to do.
All right. Good. I was just hearing about how y'all met in Moscow, though. Do you even remember, where did y'all go on your first date? Oh, okay.
So I flew her in to meet her.
Oh,
11,
wow.
2007.
Okay, 2000.
That's too long of a story.
Okay, all right.
We have 5 minutes.
So why don't you tell people, though, about what you've been telling me in emails about the new project?
Well, this is supposed to be. Does this sound better? That can Al's magic make a box speaker sound better than a Maggie?
Okay.
You know, it's like it's good nature. It's humor.
Okay.
It's like.
Well, it's always been good that y'all have done real time in the past, a modded Maggie, and a Maggie with the passive crossover with the mods of active digital crossover.
That was amazing last year.
It was so easy. Like, that was great because 100 out of 100 people pretty much agree. And that's hard to get in this hobby. People to agree. And it wasn't like subtle where, did you hear a difference? No, it was like, you heard a difference, and it was pretty much universal.
The upside of correction
Right.
is that you are able to fix flaws that we cannot get out of them because we're
Right.
working with real world materials.
Well,
So-
not only is a speaker not perfect and you have inherent flaws, especially at different budget points, you also have imperfect rooms, imperfect listening positions, imperfect, everything that can corrupt. Even if you have the best speaker in the world, the room can corrupt it.
Right.
So to pretend like you cannot do any kind of corrections after the fact is sheer folly. And it's actually the opposite of high end to pretend that my stuff is flawless, and like you say,
Right.
no speaker is flawless, especially at all volume levels, all frequencies. So having this kind of correction is important, and we're seeing more and more people adopt it.
Yeah, and digital is going to keep improving.
Yes.
Yeah, and so
We have the processing power, we have the brains behind it, we have now brands that are putting effort in. It's not just cheap plate amps inside of a bookshelf that's on a desktop gaming system. That's what everybody thought active was before. This is a whole nother level of performance. Your crossovers are top-notch parts. They're totally seamless. Like, people think that they can hear DSP, they can hear. This is actually taking parts out of the equation that people can hear that deteriorate the signal. So Yeah, this is more pure in an arguable way.
Yeah, but I'm going to be devil's advocate and say, prove it to me.
Yeah,
So,
of course. And that's why this demo's been good the last 2 years. So let's see what we got this year.
Can you Can you make a good box speaker sound better than a magnifier?
So what we're going to do is a box speaker today, not magnipans.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's called Ex Machina.
Ex Machina.
Okay. Let's see. It looks cool from. It's my color combo I like. So these are Purifi.
Yes.
And what is this?
It's a
Sayas, yeah. Okay. So Sayas coax. Yeah, and you were showing me the measurements you were getting in here were really good.
I can certainly speak tech to anything if you like.
Okay.
I'm your guy for all things technical.
Well, for this demo, we can do music or whatever you want to show me.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's give this audience a little bit of a background of what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Sure.
So in the past, people who have maybe seen the demos we've done passive versus active kind of shootout things to show what DSP could do. But the goal of this room is different this year. Imagine that you could put together a team of 8 players. And I'm going to make a hypothesis or say that maybe Danville is one of those 8 players. So putting that team together, one of our longtime customers, Ex Machina, have done some incredible recording studio monitors for the last 7 years and been partners with us in doing that. We said, let's see what we could do. We could take the acoustics expertise from Ex Machina, take the DSP technology from Danville. They actually have a very good algorithm partner in their company as well at Ex Machina, and then build a system that would compete at a high-tech level. What I mean by that is, instead of saying, well, we're kind of a legacy company and we've got nostalgia and all these things working, new companies can't do that. New companies have to use better technology, better materials, better science, better engineering. And so we wanted to say, what if we could take those skills, because one person can't design a loudspeaker anymore. It's a collective thing of a lot of multiple talent. Third leg in this idea that we're planning on doing. So we're looking at doing a bespoke system centered around a version of the DSP Nexus technology and Ex Machina's Arcturus speaker line, and build a bespoke system that will have all these pieces together. The third leg will be Purifi, because we'll use Purifi amplifiers in the chain, because frankly, we like those better than any other amplifiers. So the idea would be, how would you put together this dream team? And that's what we wanted to do. So I want to introduce Dev, because Dev's going to talk a little bit about the technology in the loudspeakers.
Hi there. So my name's Dev Avedon. I'm the CEO and one of the original founders and owners of Ex Machina. And obviously, as Al alluded to, we've been close partners for a very long time. We're a little bit better known in the professional space. This will be our debut into the high-end consumer space. But we've used Danville Signal Processing since our very inception in our professional monitors, and as we've continued to evolve over time and get more powerful processing, continue to refine our DSP and our algorithms, we finally all came to a point where we felt there was enough blood on the tracks of what we'd done over the many years to really finally have a true endgame flagship statement system, which is what you see here. So this is our second generation Arcturus monitor, and there will be a variant of this in the pro world, but for this special collaboration with Danville, obviously it is the fully top trim systems on their line as well. I can speak to a little bit of what we've done on the loudspeaker and algorithm side. So Purifi doesn't just extend its DNA into our electronics. Obviously, we've partnered with them as well on some of the transducers. For this generation, we'll be using variants that they very kindly customized for us in the PTT10 driver to be a little more specifically optimized as a pure subwoofer, as these are covering the 200 Hz and down range. So a little bit higher bending stiffness, very long throw, very linear excursion. The new cabinet material, as I was mentioning, is Durasane. It's a solid surface material similar to Corian, but similarly we worked directly with their chemists to develop a mineral fill percentage that's really optimized for acoustic damping. So that these are extremely non-resonant cabinets, and you can see it then in accelerometer measurements. They retain very little energy in the cabinet, which is as critical as digital signal processing to how you get a really fast impulse and you don't get ringing at the end of it. You get very fast settling time. This is also our third generation of the sort of physical soul of our loudspeakers, our long-term collaboration with Seas on our coaxial design. And these are also our third generation TPCD diaphragms, composite sounds, TeXtreme metamodal diaphragms, where we use very advanced machine learning to intentionally place weak portions of the fiber at exactly the places where you would otherwise get ringing or rocking in the diaphragm, so that the end result is almost like carving a moat in a pond. It cancels a lot of that ringing before it can ever propagate to the edge of the diaphragm, which is how we're able to get a material that is as fast and as detailed as you might expect out of an engineering metal, but with none of the harshness. And then lastly, this generation, and this is really, I think, the heart of where our collaboration with Danville comes in, this generation is also going to be deploying our most advanced mathematics in terms of what's going on in digital signal processing that we've ever deployed. So one of our signatures is we have our own proprietary approach to impulse response correction. It is not a Dirac pulse, it's not an inverse convolution, it is something that we wrote from scratch. My co-founder Will, the algorithm designer that I'll refer to, derived this from a lot of his academic research before we founded the company together. And in this generation, now that we have a huge amount of power in these 5th generation SHARCs, it is now an individual impulse window for every driver. So it's not a corrective filter that goes on the entire speaker where you might take a sweep and then ask an analyzer to make a mathematical guess essentially at what's happening at the crossover. Every driver has its own discrete impulse window. The crossovers are 0 phased into those windows, so there's no group delay at the crossover itself. And then impulse by impulse for every single speaker, we align the exact start of the temporal origin within half a sample at 192 kilohertz. So I would go so far as to say as these might be the most timing accurate loudspeakers ever made.
Cool.
So that's all fine and good, dandy. Let's try to hear something.
Yep. Okay, let's do that.
You have the thing you want to hear.
I'm overdone with them anyway.
Don't forget yourself. This is a fast life. Keep listening. Forgive yourself. This could be the last life. Don't forget yourself. This is a fast life. Keep listening. Forgive yourself. This is a fast life. This could be the last life. Don't forget yourself. It's such a fast life. Are you listening? Forgive yourself.
Do show off the imaging and also the timing. If you get up and walk straight to the center, like you'll find out that the phantom center of the image does not go away until you cross the baffle.
Is that right? Okay. So they're pretty friendly to set up. These are pretty friendly to set up in the
Yeah,
room.
they are.
This could be the
No ports, so you don't have.
It's a sealed box, right?
Sealed
Yeah.
box,
That's it. Are these the stands that come with it, or
No, this is a company that are friends of ours out in Brooklyn. That's
Made.
called Space Lab System.
Space Lab?
Because they're actually they're pneumatic, so they have a lot of.
Yeah, I've seen those pneumatic things. That's kind of a cool idea. How much are those stands, you know?
Yeah, like 16.
That's not bad, okay, yeah.
And that also includes the solid cellular isolator inside that platform. That's part of there.
Okay. So what is the price point of everything?
So the shipping model like version of this will come with upgraded DSP Nexus.
Okay.
And also the amplifiers. We are using Hypex NCX 252s on this and both those modules, but it'll actually be Purifi amplifiers.
Okay.
So that whole package at any color that you want with those the 2 amp modules and the DSP Nexus is $50,000.
50,000, okay.
And Duracell, the material that the cabinets are made out of, like you can go on their website, their color page goes on for like ever, like scroll after scroll after scroll, and we can do it in
Any color you want. I'm a big fan of black and white, so this looks smart and, you know, cool.
Yeah.
So the concentric driver is what's a little interesting, you know, with the
It
purifies.
takes the the concentric drivers by Seos. The low
Right.
frequency drivers are
Yeah, the Seos and the Purify is a combination I haven't seen, yeah. Concentric Seos with the Purify. Yeah, I don't think anybody's doing that.
And we love concentric drivers. They take the room out of the equation in terms of you don't have to have like, everything beamed to one spot where it sounds good in the room. You can get up and
Move it around. Now, what frequency are y'all having it cross over to the Purifies around?
So it's 200 for the lower frequencies and 2K for the between the mid-range and the tweeter. And what's really cool about the way that the coax is like designed with the motor structure, the magnet, and also the carbon diaphragm material, is that we can actually cross it pretty high, so that there's always a intermod that happens between a tweeter and the coax mid-range. If it's moving too much.
Too much. You don't want it to move
Right.
too much, yeah.
So like this, even at the loudest volumes, not even moving a half a millimeter. So
That's great. Yeah, so it doesn't impact the
exactly.
doesn't impact the tweeter. Yeah, that's what I was kind of getting at in an indirect way, but you knew where I was going.
Indeed. So.
And then the badge on there, is that the
That's our
logo?
logo, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it doesn't light up or anything.
No,
it's
it
just
doesn't.
okay.
So.
Because everything is off board in terms of, and that's what I like. I mean, on board, plate inside. That's not the place to put most electronics. So I like that you're doing it off board. So
Yeah. Well, especially because you consider the power that it takes for a system like this, the heat. that
yeah,
gotta
you
get.
want to get it out, and it looks like an audiophile system for people that like their toys and a rack of gear. Now you still have it, but you have a true active DSP, perfectly time aligned, great transients, you know. So yeah, I think it's a success. This is reminiscent of, you know, what I hear from the best box company, the Dutch and Dutch, the Sigbergs, you know. But you're doing some innovative stuff with the concentric drivers and the purifies. You know, different price point, but you know, and then the Danville stuff is beyond reproach. And then if you're going to be using Purify amps, that's great. So
Yeah, that's so like Al said, that's the idea is just try to like assemble the A team, you know,
Okay,
the Avengers,
yes,
if you will.
okay.
So, like,
well, that's why I'm here, because this is the type of stuff that I think most people, they go for the eye glitz.
Sure.
But this is more of, for people that really are in the know, this is the advanced stuff going on right now. There is eye glitz, but this is more of a glitz from a true high-end perspective and performance perspective. So that's what I like to see. So this is now a new contender for box speakers, I think, performance-wise. We could do one more clip. I'm running out of hard drive space, unfortunately, but
I'll say my favorite kind of parlor trick as
Okay.
for these. You know, when I can say all the technical things about timing accuracy and phase integration, but what that really actually adds up to is imaging in a phantom center that is just locked. Like, it does not move. And this is a trick that I would encourage you to try on any other set of speakers and see if you can do it. I'm going to put on something very spare, just guitar and vocals. And at your leisure, I want you to stand up and start walking towards the center of the speaker. And I think you will find that until your head goes past the baffle plane, the phantom center never collapses.
okay, cool. That'll be a good test. I have a 4 o'clock. Actually, somebody's interviewing me at 4. I'm usually the one doing the interviewing, but I got to get to that. But if we got about,
Yeah, this will be quick.
yeah.
J'avoue, j'en ai bavé, pas vous, mon amour.
Yeah, so
Avant d'avoir eu vent de vous, mon amour. Ne vous déplaise en dansant la javanaise.
okay, success.
Nous aimions.
But yeah, it's all about, for me, the sweet spot. You know, like that's when I really judge things. And yeah, it's exceptional. So yeah, thumbs up.
That basically takes sort of room out of the equation. In the
Yeah.
fact of, like, you don't have to just be at one spot. You don't have to worry about beaming the tweeters at your ear, making the little
All the
triangle
things
out there.
that can corrupt
Yeah,
what
all
they
the-
spent money on. Now, do you have to keep them a little farther away from the wall, or probably not? Huh?
No, you can put them straight up against the wall if you
Yeah,
want to.
that's
And
what's
certainly
great.
There's space loading configurations available in the DSP. We actually found in this particular room that having them a little bit closer to the wall was better in terms of the modes of this room.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not doing any room EQ in here. We discovered where the problems were. and
Okay,
we
just
fixed it with
addressed it with this. Okay. And then aesthetic wise, you can do almost anything custom, like racing stripes or any kind of things.
We can do some degree of customization in terms of like specific engraving.
Okay.
There will be inlay options available. Our sort of signature is actually going to be this very beautiful rose gold PVD on a stainless steel. And those will be right where the constrained layer damping lines are. And then
It's
for
all
the-
curved here. I think people may want to see that. Yeah, it's very. So it is like a Corian finish, you know.
Yeah, it's a very similar material, Duracane. It's a lot of the same core components in that it's acrylic and alumina trihydrate. It's just something that was a little more specifically optimized just for acoustic damping.
Yeah, let me get some good light on this so people can see. All right.
And there are a huge range of color finishes that are available for this material. And with this trim of system, we will build that specific set to order. We will mill them to order in any of those colors. We have options certainly available for the kinds of metal work on the metal detail inlays on that system. And we do also have the ability to do some pretty cool UV laser engraving. So
Oh, that's
if you
cool.
want like individual graphics or artwork, that can also be done.
And how heavy is this?
Quite heavy, about 130 pounds.
Okay, all right. I mean, yeah, I mean, that's not too bad. Most 50,000 above speakers are pretty heavy, so
Yeah,
yeah.
it's very difficult to make an acoustically inert cabinet without
Right,
this.
right, exactly. Well, great job. I appreciate y'all. You didn't have to close down the room for me, but I'm glad you did because the noise floor is great in here. You did great with the acoustics and obviously the design, so thumbs up.
Thank you so much.